Gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you? Follow my instructions, and remember, defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, good luck to you both.
Well, whatever happens, the IBF featherweight title will remain a highly prized possession of a British boxer tonight. But where in the White Rose County will it reside? Will it stay in Leeds with Josh Warrington, or will it go south with Kid Galahad to the Steel City of Sheffield? Nothing has distracted these men from their gladiatorial routines. Now each are hoping that such the monastic devotion will see them straddle the summit of the 9-stone division. We're underway, 12 3-minute rounds for the IBF Featherweight Championship of the World. The champion, Josh Warrington, making the second defense of the crown that he won last spring against Lee Selby at a pulsating Allen Road. He wears the colours of his beloved Leeds United, blue trimmed with white and gold. The challenger is Kid Galahad from Sheffield, competing in his 27th professional contest tonight. He wears red trunks, trimmed with gold, and a sharp shooting left hand causes Warrington to become disorganised.
Well, straight away you see with Kid Galahad going southpaw, then it's going to be a battle of the front foot, and that's why Warrington is just trying to get his foot on the outside. As soon as Kid Galahad then Warrington switches to orthodox. Kid Galahad switches to orthodox, then it becomes a much more even fight. So you'll see Galahad time and again go from orthodox to southpaw, and he'll try and confuse Warrington early on.
Well, timeout called immediately. Referee Phil Edwards warning Kid Galahad about reckless use of the head. And remember, cuts were a feature of Josh Warrington's world title win. Lee Selby was cut over both eyes during the course of that contest. In the second round and in the sixth round, the heads rubbing together vigorously in the opening minute and a half of this contest.
The boxer who can keep his foot on the outside and makes the opponent go onto his rear hand, basically, when it's a southpaw orthodox situation, and that's why straight away you can see both boxers are trying to get their foot on the outside. Once Galahad is this southpaw, then it becomes a much more trickier contest for Josh Warrington. He'd prefer him to be orthodox, most certainly. So, like I say, expect Galahad to keep switching and make things difficult for Warrington.
So Warrington again looking for that left jab, but the two fighters fall into a clinch. Referee Phil Edwards allowing the two men to work away. And again, look at how vigorously the heads are rubbing at close quarters. Warrington looking to establish that lead left hand. Kid Galahad now in the orthodox stance. Warrington falls short with a left-right combination, but he doubles up the attack and tries to follow up again, but can't find a range. And again, their heads continuing to rub with incredible ferocity on the inside.
Well, they both risk getting cut here, Ronald, as you said, with the heads so close, clashing, rubbing. Anything can happen on the inside. And again, you know what? Kid Galahad started quite well with those single shots. The accuracy's been there from him with that jab. Again, just switches to southpaw now. And again, Warrington adjusts his feet and will struggle then to get close, but he's got to put the pressure on like he just did there.
Galahad ties the man up when he comes in close. The end of the first round where Warrington would put in the end of some sharp singles from the switch hitting Galahad.
Time's out. Round two.
Well, referee Phil Edwards calling time immediately, calling both boxers to the center of the ring and reminding them of their responsibilities to keep this one clean. Time resumes and the action begins in this second round, and it's Galahad on the front foot. He said that his unpredictability, the switch hitting, the punch picking, the sheer awkwardness that he possesses is going to be one of his key weapons on his way to victory tonight. That is what he feels, and it's going to be down to Warrington to get to grips with that unconventional style.
Well, I said at the start that the key maybe for Galahad to have success is to slow the tempo down, and that's what he's doing by switch hitting. When he gets to southpaw, then it just makes Warrington adjust his feet, think about things a little bit longer, and that, you know, it just slows the contest down. And I think a slower contest, a slower tempo will definitely suit the challenger, because we know what Josh Warrington's all about on that front foot, loads and loads of pressure. This is what he's used to, coming forward. So Galahad has somehow got to slow that down. Both exchange there with big punches, Ron.
Both men having success. Warrington with success with a right hand, but look at the defensive manoeuvres from Kid Galahad. Dipping and then spinning off to the space of the ring, kicking off his man with a single shot and moving to his left. We know that it's practically impossible to outwork Josh Warrington. His work rate has been evident throughout his career, and never more so than in his 2 World Championship contests. So how do you go about beating a man like that? Is it all accuracy and angles? Does Galahad have the power of punch to command the respect of Warrington and keep him at bay, to prevent him from pouring forwards almost with impunity? Galahad doing a good job so far of slowing things down to his pace. Warrington trying to get to grips as he picked off by another right hand. Good left hand to the body on the inside, then brings it upstairs in a straight variety, then putting his man in a headlock and preventing him from working away. Referee Phil Edwards having to call break, and it's a bad-tempered affair in this White Rose County derby. The atmosphere building towards white hot as the crowd raise their decibel level once again.
Yeah, Josh Warrington just showing a little bit of frustration there, so he's got to control his emotions by losing his temper. May just leave him a little bit open. I think Galahad's doing very well at this stage, just to slow things down, like you said, Ron. Single shots are coming from him, and I think Josh Warrington is sensing that. That's why he's just stepping on the gas now and starting to put more pressure on, because he knows he's got to get closer and he's got to up the tempo here.
Warrington applying physical roughhouse tactics, Galahad applying physical roughhouse tactics on the inside, repeatedly putting Warrington's head beneath his armpit when they get in close. Galahad lost his balance momentarily a few instances ago, but another very good second round for the challenger.
It's short for me, Jeff, you win. He's got a long jab when he uses it. Yeah. You've got to start getting tired of tapping it. Get southpaw tapping down, come over the top with your backhand. The backhand's working. Stand. Come on.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Nice, right, stand there. Yeah. Smart. Good breathe.
Seconds out. Round 3.
Into the 3rd round of this contest then. These 2 men have shared the ring not once but twice before, back when they were amateurs. Different stories surrounding those bouts, as Galahad scores with a good right jab before switching orthodox. Warrington trying to come back, but again being made to miss by the good footwork in the pocket being demonstrated by Kid Galahad. Oh, beautiful double left hand. Warrington doubling up the attack, coming forward with quick feet, and he caught the challenger on the back foot.
That was good work there from Warrington, just stepped on the gas, didn't he? I most certainly think, Ronald, that Galahad as a southpaw really makes it awkward for Warrington, and I think he should spend longer periods as a southpaw, because Josh Warrington just doesn't seem to be able to close that gap down when Galahad is a southpaw, but now he's orthodox. Like I say, it's a much more even fight, and Warrington is starting to have success now by stepping on the gas and up in that tempo.
Well, one suspected that, given the bad-tempered build-up that preceded this contest and their styles of fighting, that this could well be a physical encounter, and so far in the early stages, referee Phil Edwards has got his hands full. Good left hand to the body landed by Galahad, who is operating as a port-sider once again. Warrington trying to quicken the feet, comes forward with a 2-shot salvo, but Galahad remaining calm under pressure, and again, look at the physicality on the inside. But back to those 2 amateur contests, as Warrington tries a right hand but can't find a range. He did have success with a single jab. Warrington was an outstanding amateur, taking the 2005 English Schools title. He was an ABA bronze medalist in the senior ranks, losing at the semi-final stage to Tom Stalker, who have ended up with a silver in that. The GB captain of such distinction during his time as an amateur. But these 2 men met twice in the amateur ranks. Warrington, the winner on both occasions. Kid Galahad says he doesn't remember much of them, as Warrington scored with a good left jab. Says that he was an inexperienced junior struggling to get fights, so had to face the more experienced Warrington. For their part, Warrington's corner, remember those bouts, Sean O'Hagan, Warrington's father and trainer, saying we punched him from pillar to post all over the ring, and we have never lost to an Ingle fighter. But they're in a competitive contest so far tonight, the reigning champion and his team.
I think what is very evident here, Ronald, that Josh Warrington has got to box at a faster tempo here. He's got to put more pressure on. He's finding it difficult to close the gap down, but the pace is certainly suiting the challenger, Kid Galahad. He's slowed it down, he's quietened this crowd. Up to now, he's boxing very well.
And again, the forearm into the face from Kid Galahad, the head into the chin from Warrington. It's a rough one, this, through 3 completed rounds.
Some action here. Warrington, this was a good two-fisted attack coming forward. Pushed Galahad back, had some success here, did Josh Warrington.
Seconds
That was
out.
much better from him.
Round 4.
So into the 4th round, the crowd comparatively subdued to what we've heard here in the First Director Arena in Leeds on previous Warrington fight nights. And that is because Galahad is acquitting himself very well indeed in this, his maiden world title bid. In dealing with this hostile partisan atmosphere, Kid Galahad has drawn inspiration from his boyhood idol, Prince Naseem Hamed, who's in attendance here tonight, was presented with the ring championship belt for his dominance during his reign as a featherweight champ back in the 90s. On his first fight as a featherweight, stepped up from super bantam, went to the home of the reigning champion as Josh Warrington lands a good left jab, and faced 16,000 hostile Welsh fans who were cheering on the reigning champion, Steve Robinson. But Prince Naseem dealt with the occasion, dealt with the reputation and the considerable ability of the reigning champion, and took his man apart over the 8-round contest, stopped him in the 8th to become the new WBO featherweight champion, as Warrington looks for success with that right hand. And Galahad says that he's looking to that contest for inspiration. Good work to the body from Josh Warrington.
Yeah, better work from the champion. Single attacks though, I think he's got to start doubling them up a little bit. Lovely pot shot there from Galahad, nice single punch. But I think Warrington has got to double up his attacks, sustain the pressure a little bit more. The single attacks Galahad has seemed to be able to cope with, so he needs to go twice here, does the champion, Warrington.
Both men working away on the inside. Warrington frantically trying to get his arms free and target that torso of the elusive challenger. Again, it's Kid Galahad who is keen to initiate a clinch and work away with his free right hand. Very, very physical on the inside, at times resembling mixed martial arts and the grappling that we see in the octagon. Now it's back at distance. Warrington trying to find the jab, but he can't find the range with Galahad in the southpaw stance, and then Galahad comes with an arcing left hand, turns it into a corkscrew left underneath. Left hand to the body from the challenger. Warrington tosses him into the ropes. Referee Phil Edwards on that infringement in a flash. So Galahad back as a southpaw boxer once again. Warrington with a jolting left jab. Solid lead left hand landed by the champion. Southpaw left wasn't too far away from Kid Galahad. Warrington trying to let his hands go, but not really finding the range.
Difficult round to score, scrappy. Galahad boxed well on the outside, single shots. Warrington occasionally came forward but got caught with the odd shot like that. When he does step on the gas, Warrington has some success, but Galahad again making things tricky.
Into round 5 we go. Not panic stations, but perhaps a note of concern in the corner work of his father and trainer, Sean O'Hagan. He said, what are you doing? You're letting Kid Galahad stand in front of you. You're letting him work, quicken things up. Left hand out of the southpaw stance wasn't too far away from Kid Galahad. Plenty has been made not only of the rivalry between the boxers, but also between the respective camps. Dominic Ingle, a veteran of, he estimates, some 70 world title fights. Sean O'Hagan guiding his charge. Josh Warrington, the champion, in his third world title fight here tonight. How much will that difference in experience, how significant will that prove to be as this contest goes on? Again, you're just left with the impression that it's Galahad who is dictating the terms and the tempo of this contest, just keeping his man off kilter with single shots like he's pushing out here. Orthodox left hand jab being put out, but that's a chopping right hand, and another one as Warrington steps on the gas and brings a huge roar of encouragement from this crowd. Galahad ties his man up, waltzes him back towards the ropes on the far side of the ring. Warrington back into the space of centre ring, and he's looking for more success by quickening his feet and his fist once again.
Well, that was better for Warrington, wasn't it? And he needed it because he was being outboxed in this round up to then, finding things difficult. And we said right at the start that the whole about the tempo of the contest and the pace, how it would suit Galahad if it was slowed down, and that's what he's done. He's controlling things. But there, Josh Warrington boxed more to what he likes doing best. He got on that front foot, put in a good attack, and he caught Galahad with a couple of good shots, and that's what he's got to do more of. But again, he's just allowed Galahad just to dictate that slow pace again. He slowed it down.
So Warrington bustling his way forward. The two fighters fall into a clinch once more. Warrington looking for that left jab. Beautiful defensive work with the right glove from Kid Galahad, blocking the shot that came in his direction before scoring with a sharp shooting straight left to the body. Operating as a port sider once more. Exchange of lead hands. Warrington's appeared slightly more potent. He was certainly quicker. Both men exchanging misses as the right hand of Warrington fell short. Cuffing right hand, threatening to stray around the back of the head, landed by Kid Galahad. Working the body effectively once again. Warrington, again, just struggling to find a range as another long left hand poked through his defenses from Kid Galahad.
Better round for the champion, most certainly. Good 1-2 combination from Warrington there, but he needed it up to that stage. Galahad was having the better of it in this section, and he stepped on the gas, found his range, just got tied up on the inside afterwards. But nevertheless, better work from Josh Warrington. Good right hand there and kept the attack going.
10 seconds. Same out. Round 6.
Into the 6th round then. The 12-round championship distance holds no fears for either of these fighters. Kid Galahad competing in his 9th scheduled 12-rounder tonight. It's the 13th for the champion. Josh Warrington has completed the championship course on 7 occasions. Kid Galahad 4 times. Beautiful defensive maneuvers with the feet from Kid Galahad, making Warrington miss badly. Didn't make him pay. Warrington onto the back foot. And fencing with the lead hands as Galahad continues to press the action, looking for openings, but he's pressing the action at his desired pace, is the sense that we're left with from our ringside commentary position here.
Occasionally you just see Warrington how frustrated he's getting as he comes forward. Sometimes his right leg comes right around, so he comes very square. He can't find the range to land his own right hand, and that's why his rear leg comes round to get closer. That was a little bit better from him, but occasionally he just starts the attack from too far out, falls short, the right leg comes round, he comes square, and that's just a common mistake made against a tricky southpaw who sits back. Remember, that right hand of Warrington has got to travel a little bit further back to the target, and if he's sitting back also, it makes it a little bit more difficult to land that shot.
Well, it's a thicket of forearms once again as the two fighters fall into a clinch once more. Referee Phil Edwards has to intervene once again. Midpoint of this 6th round. Warrington trying to close the distance, edging forward with his feet, lands a right hand to the body, but again, look at how comfortable Kid Galahad appears in the face of those forward forays from the champion. Just, oh, beautiful right-left combination. Sharp shooting left cross from the challenger. That spurs Warrington into action, but he had little success of note as he was attempting to let his hands go. And again, Phil Edwards giving the boxers every opportunity to work on the inside. Warrington lands a cuffing right hand. Kid Galahad marches him out to the space of the ring. Timeout called. Now this is stern admonishment in the direction of Kid Galahad for continually wrapping up his man like a blanket. And the action resumes in the closing seconds of this 6th round. Warrington bracketing his head with his hands, coming forward, but again, when they get into short range, neither man really able to work on the inside. Warrington desperately trying to do so. Cupping right hand lands for Warrington, the final action of that stanza.
Just heard Dominic Ingle there stay out of the corners. A couple of good shots from Galahad.
Round 7.
And then Josh Warrington responds with his own attack there.
Well, just had a brief shot of Prince Naseem Hamed, man inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame for his outstanding accomplishments in the rope square, and it was he who was the inspiration for Kid Galahad to take up boxing. Actually met at a local mosque. Kid Galahad told Prince Naseem, I want to be a champion, and Prince Naseem responded, if you want to be a champion, go and find Brendan Ingle. So he turned up to the Fight Factory in Winkerbank in Sheffield the next morning. He said get there for 6 o'clock. He was there 15 minutes early. Brendan Ingle gave him his footwork routine for the session, went about his business. He came back 2 hours later and Kid Galahad was still there going through the motions that the late great Brendan Ingle instructed him to do, and he thought at that point this man has an opportunity to make something of himself in this game.
Yeah, tremendous story, isn't it? The great Brendan Ingle, proper trainer, takes kids off the streets and turn them into champions. That was Brendan Ingle, with skill and hard work, dedication. And at the moment, Kid Galahad again is quieting the crowd. He's starting to control that tempo. So this is a test for the champion. Most certainly, that's a little bit better from Warrington. Got to step on the gas, got to work more, throw more shots. The single better shots are coming from the challenger. And Warrington has got to up the tempo, Ronald.
Well, normally, the insane work rate that Josh Warrington is able to establish is such a hallmark of his fighting, but here, well, he's not quite being hypnotized, but it's Kid Galahad who is controlling the pace of this contest. And Warrington's incredible fitness and his bustling work rate so far isn't proving to be a significant factor, because Galahad isn't allowing to get his punches off. Isn't allowing Warrington to get his punches off. And again, Kid Galahad said that his unpredictability, his awkwardness is going to be key in this contest, as he landed a 1-2, then dipped underneath the retaliation from Warrington. And he says, half the time, I don't know what I'm going to do up in the boxing ring, so how on earth is Warrington going to pick it? So Warrington trying to work his way inside once again. Everybody associated with Kid Galahad, the entire Ingle crew down at the Winkerbank gym. Good left hand to the body from Galahad. Warrington responded with a couple of shots over the top. That right hand wasn't too far away in that reverse 1-2. But all have said that they've rarely seen Galahad uncomposed, as he lands with a sharp shooting left out of the southpaw stance, follows up with a pecking, poking right jab. and then ties his man up to conclude that 7th round.
Galahad just sitting back, just gets caught there, made the mistake of throwing that left hand, just leant forward a little bit, misses the target, and Warrington comes back with a chopping right hand there. So that was a rare mistake there from Galahad. But again, Ronald, there's an eerie silence in this place, isn't it? Very surprising.
Don't be quick.
10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 8.
Into the 8th round then, Josh Warrington facing his 4th opponent with an undefeated record tonight, his 2nd opponent with a perfect record. Kid Galahad facing his 3rd opponent, still in possession of his O. In his 15th fight, he outpointed Jazza Dickens to win the, he stopped Jazza Dickens in the 10th of a 12-round contest to claim the vacant British super bantamweight title. He was probably behind in that contest against Jazza Dickens. He was 16-0 at the time, but he produced a finish in the 10th round, which again was a big test for Galahad, and he came through it. And then in his 18th contest, as Warrington has success to the body, he outpointed Adilson dos Santos to win the vacant IBF youth title, and it was after that contest that Galahad tested positive for stanozolol, which resulted in him being handed a 2-year ban reduced to 18 months. His brother has since admitted responsibility for spiking a drink of Galahad, saying that he spiked the drink after the two of them had a sibling row. And that argument resulted in Kid Galahad losing 18 months of his career. Beautiful sharpshooting left out of the southpaw stance from Galahad. He resolved to remain committed to the game during that time away. He said many people would have given up or turned it in, but he said, what am I going to do? I don't have any qualifications, there's nothing else I can do. So he went away to LA, trained over there for a period of weeks, and that's where he was mixing with high-quality boxers like Jorge Linares, Oscar Valdez. Of course, he spurned Kell Brook in his own gym, Ricky Burns when he was world champion, and he opined that by mixing with those world champions in sparring, that he's faced better opponents than Josh Warrington. Warrington, of course, countered that sparring isn't the same as fighting.
Well, he's doing a good job here, Kid Galahad, again on the outside, picking his shots. Warrington just can't find a way. Single attacks aren't enough. The fast feet have eluded him, where he had those fast feet against Lee Selby and Carl Frampton, but this is a different opponent. This is a little bit better from him now. But one of his problems is when he gets close, then he gets tied up on the inside. He's got to try and find the room, and that's the problem. When they're in a short range, then Galahad ties him up, and it becomes a very scrappy affair indeed. Warrington has got to try and find the room, half a step back maybe, when he's at short range, to let the shots go, but that's easier said than done. And Galahad is doing his job, really. He's frustrating the opponent.
So Warrington with single jab success. Galahad countering with a good southpaw left. Warrington trying to cut the ring off by moving to his right, but again, look at the composure of Kid Galahad, who's just neutralizing the attempted attacks of Josh Warrington.
Seconds out. Round 9.
So into the 9th round then. And this crowd that usually, good shots of the single variety from Josh Warrington, but this crowd that usually make such a cacophonous noise are strangely subdued, because their man, the Leeds warrior, the reigning champion Josh Warrington, hasn't been at his high energy best tonight. And you have to give credit to the challenger for that, because Warrington simply hasn't been able to enjoy any sustained success. Normally he applies effective pressure, intelligent aggression, but this use of the ring that Kid Galahad is demonstrating is just keeping the man off kilter, keeping the champ off balance, and then when it gets into close territory, it becomes a physical encounter, and the arms entwine like pretzels once again.
Well, it's taking away what your opponent does best, and that's what Galahad's doing. He's boxing on the outside, single shots. He's frustrating Josh Warrington. Warrington's got to push him back to the ropes and just restrict that movement. And you heard Dominic Ingle in the corner actually say to Galahad about stay out of the corners, stay off the ropes, and that's mainly because he knows then the movement's restricted. And the referee again is having a word there.
Well, you just get the impression, as Phil Edwards spoke in no uncertain terms to Kid Galahad once more about the infringement of holding, that Kid Galahad is walking a tightrope here, fighting on the edge of the rule book, and in a contest that is as close as this, remember we're in Warrington's hometown, a point deduction for an infringement of the rules could well be decisive if we go through to the scorecards. Remember, it's an all-English judging panel in charge of this one tonight as Warrington lands with a chopping right hand. Howard Foster, Steve Gray and Michael Alexander, the three wise men presiding over this one from different sides of the boxing ring here in the First Direct Arena. Again, Warrington being made to miss because Kid Galahad still able to spring up and down like a veritable jack in the box to cause shots to fall short, to go long. And Warrington just cannot unleash that incredible engine that he possesses and let go with a two-fisted fusillade.
Single shots, isn't it, from Galahad, and when they get close, it's tying the champion up on the inside. Warrington having rare bits of success here, Ronald. That's a little bit better from the champion. And again, Galahad just tying him up. And I think you're right, I think Galahad just got to watch what he's doing here in terms of the inside work and the holding on the inside. But the frustrating part of it is certainly taking its toll on Warrington.
Well into the 10th round, and there's a real sense of urgency in the champion's corner, and perhaps unsurprisingly, a few words of profanity sneaking into his instructions. We apologize for the bad language if you heard it during the course of those instructions to the champion, but it's getting to that type of stake now for the champ, because they know that he's in a perilous position here. His reign as champion could well be in jeopardy. He's got to come on strong in these final 2 rounds if he hopes to extend his championship reign. Well, good left uppercut on the retreat from Kid Galahad. Warrington comes forward, but again with little success because Kid Galahad proving so slippery in the pocket. Exchange of jolting shots again. The crowd for Warrington roaring on their encouragement, but Galahad diffusing and defusing the attack by tying up the champ on the inside.
A little bit better there from Warrington, just up in the tempo, quickening the pace a little bit, puts Galahad under a little bit of pressure. Galahad is a skillful operator, still coming back with the odd single shots, but definitely the quickness in the tempo and the pace is suiting the champion.
Can he maintain the quickened tempo that he's trying to inject here, Josh Warrington, midway through the 10th round? Josh Warrington's conditioning demonstrable in just about all his contests. And while Kid Galahad appears to box at a steady pace and on his own terms, it's worth noting that Kell Brook is on record, the former world champion, of saying that he used to despise doing road work alongside Kid Galahad, because when he was the top boy in the Winkerbank gym, Kid Galahad, well, he was one of the best runners who would push him during their road work sessions. That's a testament and a measure of Kid Galahad's fitness and conditioning, and that could well be a crucial factor as we approach the championship round. So again, Galahad just able to beguile and almost bamboozle Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington desperately in pursuit of his man, but look at that, the right hand long over the top, because Galahad appeared as though he was there to be hit, then dipped down at the waist to cause the shot to go long. Warrington on the front foot, trying to close the distance. He runs into a single shot, has a 2-shot salvo that lands of his own. And once again, it's physical at close range. Mauling and grappling on the inside, lacing with the glove being applied by the challenger. Referee Phil Edwards allowing them to work away on the strands. Warrington pours forwards, drives his man back to the ropes on the other side of the ring.
Again, Warrington coming forward, but walks onto a lovely left uppercut there from Galahad. Frustrating as he's coming forward here for the champion, but it walks onto a peach of a shot. Best punch of the round for me from Galahad. Just waited, and then Warrington then delivers, trying to push Galahad back onto the ropes. That was better from the champion there, pinning Galahad onto the ropes. Had a bit of success. But it's close, Ron, it really is.
Seconds out. Round 11.
So into the championship rounds we go. The IBF Featherweight Championship of the World on the line. The champion, Josh Warrington, in the ring with a very awkward, slippery challenger tonight. Kid Galahad has proved very difficult to get to grips with. There's right hand success from Warrington as he doubles up the right hand, biting down on his gum shield and increasing his punch output, letting his hands go. Galahad remaining composed in the pocket, causing some of those shots to be off target. It was an exchange of shots on the inside. It was a snaking corkscrew shot from Kid Galahad that countered a single that landed from the champ.
Better start from Warrington. As he's coming forward, he actually risks a little bit more walking onto a shot from Kid Galahad. But nevertheless, sense of urgency in the corner, knows he's got to do more, and he started the round better, the champion.
Minute gone in this penultimate round. Kid Galahad operating as a southpaw. And again, it is really almost a hypnotic quality about the challenger's work, because Warrington hasn't been able to step on the gas and apply that sustained pressure that was so effective for him in winning the title from Lee Selby and in defending it for the first time against Carl Frampton. He was the underdog in both of those fights. Kid Galahad, in the build-up to this one, said that I might be the underdog here, but now the tables are going to be turned. He was too fresh for both Lee Selby and Carl Frampton, and I'm going to be too fresh for Josh Warrington here in his hometown. Not quite sure whether fitness and freshness have been the key factors in this contest so far, but it's more about tempo and pace and distance. And in this type of territory on the inside, Warrington has been prevented from working by the clever infighting of Kid Galahad. So again, just being smothered and blanketed by the challenger, tied up. Men exchange single shots of the bent arm variety at close range. Look at how the gloves are tied up beneath the armpits of Kid Galahad for Josh Warrington.
Warrington himself just turning southpaw there. It's a scrappy fight. It's not good on the eye to watch this one. Galahad nullifying Warrington on the inside. Warrington can't let the shots go. Had a good first minute, remember. Maybe that's enough to take the round, but there's not a lot in it again.
Galahad looking for that left uppercut out of the southpaw stance once more, punching right up into the bell to end this round is Josh Warrington. Another untidy, scrappy round. Most physical at close range.
So good work there from Josh Warrington. Just stepped on the gas, the start of the round especially. Just went for it, didn't he? Got caught with a couple of shots, but nevertheless, it was a better start for Warrington. It was like the old Josh Warrington. On a rare occasion in this contest so far.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. 12th and final round.
So a perfunctory touch of gloves to begin this 12th and final round in this all Yorkshire derby for global supremacy in the featherweight division. the champion, Josh Warrington, from right here in Leeds, coming out quickly to begin this final round. Kid Galahad's corner feel that he is in a commanding position on the scorecards. How are the three scoring officials seeing this one? And a big final round for either boxer could well prove to be pivotal. Kid Galahad hasn't spoiled, but he has done an incredibly effective job of neutralizing the usual effective aggression, the intelligent aggression that Warrington is able to apply. He's snuffed out the pressure. He's boxed at his own pace, he's boxed at his own tempo. In many respects, he's dictated the terms of the contest, because when Warrington attempts to let his hands go and get the crowd into it, Kid Galahad is no longer there, like trying to capture smoke. Remember, Phil Edwards has issued stern talking tos to Kid Galahad on 2 occasions for holding, and that's an increasing amount of holding that is punctuating this final round.
Some of the rounds have been very difficult to score, Ronald. The crowd are starting to get behind their man now, but again, we haven't really been hearing the crowd during this contest, and that just shows you the effective work that Galahad has done in terms of frustrating the opponent, frustrating the crowd basically, and keeping them quiet.
Josh Warrington desperately trying to go through the gears and find that top gear that has proved to this point in his career so difficult for his opponents to live with, but Kid Galahad simply will not let him go through the gears, tying the man up, skipping away when he finds himself in punching range. It's been a very clever display from the challenger. Inside the final minute of the final round, can Warrington launch another furious rally? Can the crowd get behind him to inspire him once more? He's swinging, but he's missing, and then he's danced into another clinch by Kid Galahad, who then helps himself to a cracking southpaw left. Warrington biting down on his gum shield, trying to come back once again, but he's having minimal success because Kid Galahad is continued to tie him up with terrific cleverness at close range. And again, Kid Galahad putting a straight jacket on his man to prevent Warrington from working away. Warrington desperately trying to launch a furious final flurry in the closing seconds, but Kid Galahad smothering him once again right up until the final bell. The crowd raised the decibel level once more, but the celebrations rather subdued in the champion's corner. Equally subdued scenes over in the red corner of the challenger. A very close, physical, scrappy contest. How have the judges scored this one? Who will be declared the victor in this battle for the IBF Featherweight Championship of the World?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and we have a split decision. Judge Howard Foster scores it 115 to 113 in favor of Kid Galahad. Judge Steve Gray scores it 116 to 112 in favor of Josh Warrington. And Judge Michael Alexander scores it 116 to 113 for your winner, and still IBF Featherweight Champion of the World, Josh the Leeds Warrior Warrington.
By the skin of his teeth, by the narrowest of split decision verdicts, Josh Warrington has retained his IBF featherweight title. Bitter disappointment in the corner of Kid Galahad. He thought he had done enough. He took it for referee Howard Foster, 115-113, but Steve Gray and Michael Alexander scored it in favor of Josh Warrington. 116-112 for Steve Gray, 116-113 for Michael Alexander. And that perhaps a reflection as to how difficult this contest was to score. Josh Warrington makes a successful second defense of his IBF featherweight world title